Let's turn the camera on. Hey, everybody. It's good to see each and every one of y'all tonight. Hopefully, everybody's having a great afternoon. Let's see who we've got in the house. Let's see. John Petticord, it's good to see you. Welcome to you. Thank you so much for coming. Rachel Richards, it's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I was just a little tired and worn out. And let's see. And the flying squirrel, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Mighty good to see you. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. And yeah, that last video was a complete flop. Like, I worked for days on it, got it completely finished. It looked so good, had all these pictures, and I was in a hurry to last minute get it uploaded, so I got it uploaded, and it was up for a day or two, and Jared's like, did you mean to not put any pictures? I'm like, what you talking about? And I ended up uploading the voiceover part. So, yeah, that was embarrassing. And I had already deleted the video, starting a new one. So, it was too late. I just left it up. Hey, whatever. Maybe next time it'll be better. And we got Daryl. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming. Appreciate you. Awesome, brother there, Cody. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. Everybody's doing good here, sort of. I kind of have a change of background, as you see. In the living room. Autumn's in there laying down. She's still under the weather with the cold and all that she had. So she's in there laying down. I didn't want to interrupt her because that's where my little background for the show is. So I came in here to the living room where Hope's just right over there on the couch playing Minecraft with her headphones on, not even paying attention at all. So if y'all hear clicking or somebody saying, "You stupid thing," that's Hope. Or a little, every once in a while you'll hear a funny little ding, and that's actually her
sugar checker?
What's it called? Dexcom meter thing telling us that she ate lunch and her supper and her sugar's high. So you just have to overlook that. But again, it's good to see each and every one of y'all, and got a neat little show coming up. It's kind of a sad story, really, but interesting. And the story's sad in a way because, a lot like old Appalachian stories, the names of people that this stuff actually happens to gets lost. Let's see. Cody said, my little brother used to scream out every time he saw a creeper in Minecraft, right? Hopes this all the time. I got a video I need to post. She was in there going crazy playing games. But the family that tonight's story actually happened to is unknown. It's lost to time. And it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal because it's involving an Appalachian cryptid and then, of course, the family massacre all at once. So I guess I'll get my face off of here and we'll get into this. Tonight's story takes place in where you at? The deep rural parts of White Bluff, Tennessee. A young family moved here trying to, start their lives together. And the man and the woman had 7 children, the oldest of 14 and the youngest of 6. This whole story happened in the 1920s. let's see. When they moved here, the man of the family just so happened to be a returning veteran from World War One, and he got married and wanted to start a family and raise some crops. So they built him a cabin in the bottom lands of southeast White Bluff County. And there they grew their crops. Hello, cat. Would you like to go out so you'll shut up? Whatever. Let's see. Sorry about that. Yeah, Prohibition era. And for once, Prohibition actually has nothing to do with this story. And normally they has all to do with it, but not this time. They lived in their little cabin and they lived their lives for a few years. But something changed. And the man of the family set out late at night in search of something. He didn't know what it was, but it was something strange. And it bothered the family, something terrible. It was late at night. And let's see. The man headed deep into the very darkest dark woods in search of a strange, unidentified creature. He was hunting it, trying to rid himself and his family of this whatever it was. And he walked deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods. And the sounds that was coming from there in those woods was so creepy, it'd make your blood curdle. And the screams would literally wreck your ears. And the man trying to find it headed in the direction of the screams, saying to himself, if I can't find it, I'll let it find me. So he crouched in wait. But then all fell silent. And then out of nowhere, a horrible, blood-curdling scream came from his home. It was his wife and his 7 children. Whatever creature it was that he was following found the family. He raced through the fog and brush, and when he burst through the door, there was nothing but silence. When he opened the door, he found the most gruesome scene. Something had absolutely torn his wife and children to shreds. As he collapsed on the floor, he didn't know what to do. What was this creature? And what led to this man going out in the middle of the night? Let's get into that part. But first, let's say hello to James Wallace. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming, brother. Always good to see you. So, why did the man go out in these woods late at night trying to find whatever this creature was? Well, one night, the first night, the farm was quiet, except for a few crickets. But then out of nowhere, A screeching echo echoed throughout the valley. The mother and the children were scared to death inside the cabin. The father arose from his bed, grabbed a lantern, and ran to investigate. He found nothing as he wandered their vast property. When he returned home, he simply dismissed the noise as some sort of injured animal. But however, the very next night, the screaming started again at the very moment the sun disappeared. The screaming grew louder and louder and more frequent, week after week. After an entire week of this craziness, it disturbing their sleep, it was impossible for them to rest, and the children were all out terrified. And every day when the sun went down, the screams would start over. The father was desperate to be rid of this creature so that they could all rest, finally. The father sat on the front porch one afternoon with his rifle in hand, and he watched as the sun sank over the surrounding hills. When the final little light of the sun disappeared, he told his wife to lock the doors and batten down the windows and to only open it to his voice wanting him back in. And then it began, that same eerie, creepy wailing from before. The man calmed himself, said goodbye to his family, and set out into the dark woods. This night, he would find the source of the screaming and kill it, or at least try. The screams grew louder and louder as he went and trekked through the thick brush. The sounds were so eerie that it sent icy chills running throughout his body. But determined to relieve his family of this crazy creature, he would calm himself and continue. He was an expert woodsman, but being that late and that dark, he struggled to keep up with where he was at. But the crazy part is, the deeper he went and the closer he got, it seemed to be disappearing into a fog. Every time that he thought that he got closer to it, it would run away in a completely different direction. The man felt as if he was going in circles, but actually, the screaming was encircling him. The horrible echoes of the sounds echoed off the large trees and made tracking the source of this sound impossible. He extinguished his light and knelt down, and that's when he swore that he would find it or it would find him. But that's when it all changed. When he heard the sounds of his family being absolutely tortured by whatever it was. Now, just what was this creature. Many today often know it as a White Bluff screamer. And there is so many different ideas of what it actually is. Some say that it's a spirit floating throughout the trees, leaving them scorched beneath their blue eternal flame. Another variation says that it's a great beast with white fur, easily twice the size of a man, with savage claws and teeth. Many paranormal enthusiasts believe one of the two to be true, but it's more likely a mythical creature, a banshee, or a cryptid, or some of us call them haints. It says, for those who believe the screamer is a cryptid, the Great Smoky Mountain National Park in East Tennessee has a few reported sightings of Bigfoot creature, but that's a long ways from White Bluff. Cody says, is it possible that it may be the legendary Yeti? Could be. It also makes you wonder, could it be the same as the creature that they call the Alabama White Thing? Maybe it could have migrated up to Tennessee. And I like to say, welcome into May. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. Hey, it's Scully. What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in. So many different things that the creature could be. Let's see. It says it is possible that there is more than one, perhaps, of this creature. It migrated from other parts of states. Just like I said, it could be related to the Alabama White Thing. It says most of the reported cryptid encounters in Tennessee have a violent twist to them. So if this is a cryptid, the massacre part of the family definitely fits in. So let's see if we can't dig up just a little more information specifically on the White Bluff Screamer. It says the White Bluff Screamer is a legendary creature known for its screeching wails heard in the woods surrounding the Montgomery Bell State Park, which is part or close to White Bluff. The legend involves a terrifying creature described in some accounts as a large, white-furred beast with savage claws and teeth that it reports and emits a chilling scream. It says possible explanations. Some accounts suggest that the screams might be that of a circus train that passed through the area as an escaped exotic animal being the source of the noise. Others believe that it could be a supernatural entity like a banshee or some sort of ghost. It says, despite being a legend, some people in the area still report hearing the screams. particularly at certain times of night. It says the legend of the White Screamer is not unique to Tennessee. Similar stories of the creatures making strange sounds or having supernatural origins are found in other parts of the South, including the Tennessee Wild Man. Let's see. News reporters have covered this story for so many years. But I wouldn't know what to think, you know. Can you imagine just trying to live in your house and raise your family and raise your food and livestock and just live your life, and out of nowhere one night a strange creature comes about making these crazy sounds, and it's just keeping you up and you can't rest and you're at your wits end, and you set out in search of this creature, but while you're gone it hurts your family. Like, I wouldn't know what to do. I'd go crazy. Cody says that there was a report a few years back, a white creature from Virginia that looked like a hybrid of the Flatwoods Monster and a large wolf, and they called it the Fredericksburg Cato. Wow. And thank you so much, James. I appreciate that. So, you know, some of these creatures and cryptids that we see, you know, they're all kind of variations, you know, like the Alabama White thing sounds so similar to this monster, but I've also heard tales of it being a type of werewolf creature. Like, there's so many different explanations of exactly what is this creature. But, you know, it's such a sad story that, you know, when the story's passed down, it's mostly of the White Bluff Screamer. It's not, they just include the story of the family's loss of life as part of it, and they don't share the story of the, you know, the family side of it, and just kind of include the creature. And that's why I was trying to do it tonight, is kind of share their story and then kind of figure out what exactly this creature was. This was something I was actually going to do a video on, but I've got so many different topics written down here to do videos on. I thought this one would be perfect to share with everybody. So I always enjoy getting to research these things, and you know, sometimes there's no actual real explanation. It's just, you know, what do we think it is? And I don't think there's ever been anyone who's actually physically seen the creature. It's always, you can hear it and you feel like it's hunting you, but you've never seen it. So makes you wonder a little bit to me how, you know, could it have been, is a creature a real creature, or is it, you know, maybe kind of like a mountain lion or a painter, you know, they're kind of walking around you, watching you, trying to figure out what you are. And when you kind of get close to them, they yell out to scare you off so that you wouldn't bother them. Because, you know, most of these wild animals are more scared of you than than you are of them. So, and James says that, let's click on that. I'm not very far from Fredericksburg, just a little over an hour's drive. I never heard anything about that. I have to check into it. I worked back there in the early 90s. Yeah, see, there's some very, very neat stuff. I might have to maybe do some research on the Fredericksburg, and I think I'm saying that right. It's Cato or something like that. But I'll have to see if I can't look into that. That's very interesting. I like neat stories like that, and it's and like someone said, there's not always just one monster. There could be whatever this creature is. There could be a lot of them, and uh, the sighting of the Alabama white thing. Some of them could have migrated up. Welcome in, Nisi. It's good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. But some of the creatures from White Bluff could have migrated down to Alabama, or they could migrated up to Tennessee and went into Virginia. I mean, I'm sure they're just like we are. We maybe things don't work out, or we're running out of food, or we're running out of water, so we have to go to wherever it's at. So, they something could have happened where, kind of like there in Bear Point, the natives flushed those bears out to that point. Maybe the creature was in fear that they might be next, so they moved up from the South Alabama up into the mountains of North Alabama, and then on further up. So I mean, animals move, we move. I mean, it's just how things are. It's the nature of things. So I enjoy this one. I mean, I could say it's a sad story, that a family said Cadejo is how most say it. I say it like that too. Pretty much means a dog like Hank. A man at the campground was telling me about it. That's cool. It's really neat, and I appreciate you sharing it. I'm interested in this myself. I've never heard of it, so I have to look it up and see if there's any kind of information on it, and do some research. I like neat creatures, and of course, Appalachia is not just creatures. As everybody in these mountains know, we're going through the little winters. We've had redbud winter and dogwood winter and blackberry winter. And welcome in, Crossover Paranormal. It's so good to see you. Thanks so much for coming in. But all those little winters, and it's starting to get time to garden. And myself, the last 4 days, I've been getting off of work and going over at my dad's and tilling 4, 5, 6 rows and going back through it 2 or 3 times, and then coming home and get up next day, go to work and cut some more until finally we're almost finished. And we've already got our cabbage in the ground and some potatoes, and onions is in the ground. And the spring of the year is, boy, it's the best time because it's cool and you can get outside and work and just have a good old time. And James says that he lives in Luray, Virginia, home of the world famous Luray Caverns and Skyline Dive in the Shenandoah National Park. It is literally in the backyard of the family property joins to the park. Well, that's cool. I never heard of Luray Caverns. That's really neat. Really enjoy places like that. have to. It says, didn't they close Forbidden Caverns? Never heard of that either. Love the mountains and stuff, all the park, the national parks and stuff, state parks, just getting state on land you can go and walk and explore and have a good time. And the woods is where it's at, but last few days it's been in the garden. And I'm telling you, the spot that we're gardening this year, about 10 years ago, it had been farmed for it like probably 15, 20 years straight. And then my mother died and my dad wasn't able to do it anymore. And so Severe, Tennessee went there when I was younger. I think they closed them, but I may be wrong. But it had been unused, just turned back into yard for like the last 8 years at least. And that ground is so hard, and trying to till that by hand, boy, it about beat you to death. So that's why I'm only doing 4, 5, 6 rows at a time. That's about all my shoulders can take after doing a full day's worth of work. But we're getting it, and hopefully this summer we'll have corn and October beans and tomatoes and cucumbers and squash and strawberries, just all kind of good eating. All it needs is a little piece of chicken and some cornbread and have a meal. So it's one thing I like about living where we do. You can grow some mighty good food. And summer's some of the best eating ever was, I swear. It says it's that time of the year looking forward to some beefsteak tomatoes. You dang right. When I was a kid, I'd always come up missing, and Mom and Dad be looking for me, and I'd be out in the middle of the garden with a cucumber in one hand and a tomato in the other, just sitting there eating it. But boy, I love cucumbers and tomatoes, all that good stuff. Fresh corn, right? Pick it and go boil it. Oh man, that's good. I'm about ready for some of all that good eating now. Which last year we did a little small patch garden, but this time we're doing a huge garden. But yeah, a little salt. Always got a little small salt shaker with you. Sure enough. Man, my dad drove like 30 something miles a day just to go get, you can get bologna and stuff at the store that's pre-sliced, but there's something about that old country store bologna that they cut right there in front of you, and they wrap it in the parchment paper. Boy, that's some good stuff. Me and him bought 4 pounds today. We bought 2 pounds a piece. And the little woman asked, well, I'm to the end of it. You want me to throw the end of the, little end away? And I'm like, no, ma'am, I'll take it right now. We went, and me and Dad both got an end, and we took a pack of crackers and ate bologna ends and crackers for a little bit of a snack. Boy, that's some good eating. Yeah, buddy. But you know what's sad is, the old little mom and pop backwood little grocery stores, they're disappearing. And the one that we go to, it's been there since the 1920s. And it's just a little mom and pop little place that, you can order little sandwiches or maybe a quick biscuit or something like that, bologna egg biscuit or tenderloin egg biscuit or bologna ham sandwich, them kind of things. They don't have a bunch of groceries or anything like that, but it's just a little small, little family-owned little sandwich shop. But boy, it's so good. So KB bologna if you ever find it. I think that's actually what it is, if I'm not mistaken. It's something like that. They get it from, I don't forget where they go to get it, but it comes in a 10-pound log, a big old long stick, like that. And boy, is it good. But it's some good stuff. And that name, I forget the name of it, but it's something like that. But some good stuff. Boy, it's nothing like being a little kid sitting on the creek bank fishing and got your little bitty can of beanie weenies and a bologna sandwich for lunch and a little bag of chips and then fishing all day. That's something I used to do all the time when I was growing up. But sadly, a lot of those parts of the mountain heritage is starting to go away. But my little one loves fishing. And I always try to bring her a little something to eat. Of course, with her being sick like she is, she can't hardly eat a lot of stuff, but we make do anyway. But yeah, it was mighty, mighty good to see you folks tonight. It's always a pleasure to get to sit and chat with you and reminisce about spring and them good old summer vegetables and learn a little history and a little about some strange cryptids and getting to see awesome family here and just having a good old time doing it. But I might have to get off of here and get Hope going for her nightly routine. She got her medicines and things that she has to do. And I always appreciate you guys. What blew my mind is, that little mistake video that I put out there, not paying attention. I didn't take it down because, that was the last part of that story that I had. And I still wanted the story that those soldiers had to be still told. And 100 and something of you folks still watched that video, even though it was a mess up, and y'all still left comments. I'm so appreciative to that. And I was expecting it to be a big flop, but can't beat our dedicated family on here. You guys are some of the best supporters, and it makes keeping the channel up and going worthwhile. So, but again, I appreciate y'all, and I don't know what we're going to be doing next week. Who knows? Who knows? It could be anything. We could have a submitted story, which I love. Hopefully, if there's anyone on here that even watches back and you see that you would like to submit a story, it's just Myers Tells the Appalachia at gmail.com. Send that thing in and we'll look at either doing a story on it or we'll tell it live on here. And yeah, the notifications are crazy. Sometimes we get busy and we don't always get to watch every video that people put out. So YouTube takes that as you don't want to watch them anymore, so they don't send you the notifications. They're just crazy. But, and of course you could be like me where you subscribe to 2, 5, 3, 400 channels and they can't send every notification from every one of those channels. But I just kind of, I know that Jared puts up at the same time, and usually Donnie Laws puts up on a regular schedule, and Appalachian Storyteller puts up on a regular schedule, and Dixie Acts After Dark puts up on a pretty regular schedule, and Cody here puts up on a pretty regular schedule, and Crossover Paranormal has a pretty regular schedule, and Scully's got a pretty regular schedule, so if there's any of these channels on here that you're not familiar with, go check them out. You'll enjoy them. Each one of them has their own thing, from storytelling to Appalachian storytelling, of course, to the paranormal. There's so many different ones, but some good stuff. So, like I said, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, and we're so thankful for y'all. And until next Monday night, we'll see you later, guys. Bye, y'all.